Sir Keir Starmer has seen off a Labour rebellion as dozens of his MPs did not vote on winter fuel payment cuts. The division list showed Labour MP John Trickett supported the Conservative motion while no vote was recorded for 53 Labour MPs. This does not automatically equate to an abstention for each MP, as they may have received permission to miss a vote. Mr. Trickett, who was a shadow cabinet member during Jeremy Corbyn's leadership, said he feared the measure would cause more pensioners to fall into poverty during the winter. In a statement posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, he said, "This winter will be extremely difficult for my constituents of all ages. After years of obscene profiteering by energy companies, they are hiking bills once again. I fear that removing the payment from pensioners will mean that many more will fall into poverty this winter. We know that the consequences of pensioner poverty are devastating. It can even be a matter of life and death. I have worked behind the scenes to try and change the government's position, but to no avail. Our country is richer than it's ever been, but the wealth is not shared fairly. In my view, the government should be looking to raise revenues from the wealthiest in society, not working-class pensioners. I could not in good conscience vote to make my constituents poorer. I will sleep well tonight, know that I voted to defend my constituents." The government won by 348 to 228 in the Commons vote today. Labour sired only a dozen of today's abstentions were not authorised. MPs can abstain because of things like medical appointments, official travel and pairing with the opposition. 8 ministers were among those that abstained on the vote that would have been expected to vote with the government. Elsewhere, 5 of the 7 MPs who lost the Labour whip in July voted against government again, casting doubt over whether the whip will be restored. MPs voted on the controversial policy to restrict the allowance to only the country's poorest pensioners. The proposals were met with unease from some Labour backbenchers who said they would not be able to vote with the government. Some 17 Labour MPs signed a motion put forward by Neil Duncan Jordan before the vote calling on the government to delay implementing the cut. The motion was also backed by 6 of the 7 MPs who lost the party whip in July after voting against the King's speech over the government's refusal to abolish the 2-child benefit cap. Sir Keir refused to say over the weekend if Labour MPs would be suspended if they voted against cuts to winter fuel payments. Chancellor Rachel Reeves announced the squeeze in July as part of a series of measures aimed at filling a £22 billion black hole in the public finances which she claimed was left by the Tories. Under the plans, the payments of up to £300 a year will be limited to only those claiming pension credit or other means-tested benefits. It is expected to reduce the number of pensioners in receipt of the allowance from 11.4 million to 1.5 million, saving around £1.4 billion this year.